Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Super Primetime Max, the debate with Arnob, the transformed show with more exclusives, more segments, more debate, more news, more chats. Ladies and gentlemen, on the debate with Arnob, I just want to tell you we've got an overwhelming amount of feedback, anticipation, messages on the Prime Minister Narendra Modi interview. We released just a short snippet at 8 p.m. And before I lead on to the next short snippet, I want to tell you my takeaways. I won't give it away because we are keeping the suspense going for tomorrow's full episode play out, of course. But when I met Sri Narendra Modi ji, what was clear to me is that there is a next level amount of clarity in the vision, clarity in the purpose of governance, clarity in confidence that the BJP is touching an effective 400 par. Having had the privilege of having several interviews with the Prime Minister over the years, over the last 20 years and more almost, and quite a few over the last 10 years of his Prime Ministership, this one is exceptional because most importantly in this interview you will get a solid picture of the issues on which the Prime Minister is seeking this third term mandate. Before the 100-minute plus interview, I could snatch maybe 10 minutes of an informal conversation with him on the lawns of 7 Lok Kalyan Marg on a warm Delhi morning in May. Here are some clips of that, then we'll continue the show tonight.
मैं एक व्यक्तिगत सवाल पूछूं इंटरव्यू शुरू करने से पहले। मोदी जी, पूछता है भारत, नेशन वांट्स टू नो, आप इतने रिलैक्स्ड कैसे रहते हैं? अभी आपको कोई मिले इतने चुनाव के गर्मी के बीच में और आपकी शेड्यूल 2014 से ज़्यादा है, 2019 से ज़्यादा है। 2014 में जब इंटरव्यू की थी आपकी, मैंने 9 मई को ही की थी 2014 को, और तब आपका गला भी बैठ गया था। इस बार गला भी आप, यू आर लुकिंग वेरी फ्रेश, वेरी रिलैक्स्ड। तो
अगर टीवी पर लोग मुझे न देखते हैं और आज जिस रूप में आप मुझे देखते हैं तो मानते ही नहीं कि मैं मेहनत कर रहा हूँ। और आजकल कुछ लोग बोल भी देते हैं लेकिन
जी,
शायद 2014 में और 2019 से बजाय एक अलग ही माहौल है चुनाव में, और उसका एक स्वाभाविक परिणाम मेरे मन पर भी होता है। मैं भी इंसान हूँ, आखिर कोई तनाव नहीं है, कोई इफ्स एंड बट्स नहीं है, कोई दुविधा नहीं है। और मैं गुजरात में इतने साल रहा, लेकिन मैंने ऐसे चुनाव नहीं देखे। मैं सब चुनाव जीतता था, 2/3 बहुमत से जीतता था, लेकिन इतना, और इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ ये चुनाव मोदी निमित्त है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की एक व्यवस्था है। लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से चुनाव देश की जनता ने अपने कंधे पर ले लिया। लेकिन
जी,
शायद 2014 में और 2019 से बजाय एक अलग ही माहौल है चुनाव में, और उसका एक स्वाभाविक परिणाम मेरे मन पर भी होता है। मैं भी इंसान हूँ, आखिर कोई तनाव नहीं है, कोई इफ्स एंड बट्स नहीं है, कोई दुविधा नहीं है। और मैं गुजरात में इतने साल रहा, लेकिन मैंने ऐसे चुनाव नहीं देखे। मैं सब चुनाव जीतता था, 2/3 बहुमत से जीतता था, लेकिन इतना, और इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूँ ये चुनाव मोदी निमित्त है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की एक व्यवस्था है। लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से चुनाव देश की जनता ने अपने कंधे पर ले लिया।
That interview is tomorrow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, time for the nation's sharpest opinion. Okay, let me reveal something. When I met the Prime Minister this morning and I had the privilege of spending a couple of hours with him, I did ask him about the report of his Economic Advisory Council, which showed that the Hindu population between the 50s and 2015 had fallen by 7.82%. I asked him, I said, Pradhan Mantri ji, when the rate of decline of the Hindu population is alarmingly high. If you equate it in decadal terms, that means the Hindu population has been falling at 1% every decade, every 10 years. How is it that when this is the fact, the lobby invokes a minority in danger bogey, when the truth is that the majority is in danger if you look at it in terms of demographic representation? Now, viewers, I won't tell you what the Prime Minister said because I want to keep the suspense on that till tomorrow. But ladies and gentlemen, the Muslim population has grown in an equal period by a share of 43.15%. Think about this. The Muslim population has gone up by 43+%. The Hindu population has gone down in an equal period by 7.82%. Then how can any reasonable person, educated person, talk about minorities being in danger? It's crazy. Shamika Ravi is a very distinguished economist, and she's a member of the Economic Advisory Council of the Prime Minister and has authored that report. And Shamika Ravi joins me, ladies and gentlemen, right on top this evening before I go into my debate. So let me say hello to her. There she is on your screen. Dr. Shamika Ravi, this is going to be a much talked about report. Firstly, did you expect this kind of public trending conversation when you were doing your research on the numbers of demographic representation and the trends that we are seeing?
Not at all, Arnav, because I don't think anyone is really surprised at these numbers. Because anecdotally, I think most people, definitely for all researchers, scholars who are looking at data, demographic data, etc., these are changes in shares.
Yes.
And that it has changed. Maybe the numbers by themselves might be something that is new. But the levels and broadly what the changes are, I don't think is new at all. So I think it is the election season perhaps that is making it so exciting. But frankly, these are long-term changes and most economists are familiar with it.
But you know, I mean, you have your right to think so, but you know, you are a distinguished academic, and many things which you take for granted with your knowledge base is not known in numerical terms by people. So I think we need to sort of talk about this in layman terms. Dr. Shamika Ravi, could you just tell us, I mean, 7.82% is a pretty steep fall, isn't it? I mean, for any community in any part of the world, leave alone with the kind of numbers that we are talking about of the Hindu population. Does it mean that if the Hindu population were to retain the same percentage that it had in the country's population as it had in the post-independence, then there would need to be about maybe 10 crore more Hindus in India today? 100 million Hindus perhaps, that we are in that sense 100 million Hindus less today than we should have been to retain the same percentage.
Well, these are shares, Arnav. So
Yes.
remember, as shares in absolute terms, every religion, because the population as a whole is expanding. We have had a major expansion in the population as a whole. We've had major expansion in size of every demographic, if you look at across religious groups. I think it is the relative share of different groups, and that to minorities, which becomes an interesting phenomenon. Because what India is following, or the experience that India has had in the last 65 years, is basically akin to most Western liberal plural democracies, where the share of majority has come down and minorities have gone up. Quite contrary to countries of the region. So our neighborhood, we are quite unique, because barring Myanmar, where the Theravada Buddhist population has had a 10% decline, in India, we have had the second largest decline in majority population, which is about 7.82%. Therefore, a commensurate increase in minority as a group. All other countries in the neighborhood, if you think of Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Afghanistan, they have all had an alarming decline in the proportion or the share of minority populations. So I think in that sense, there is a novelty to this research.
How do you react when Shamika Ravi, Asaduddin Owaisi says, and I quote, whose report is this, he says? Who made this report? This is a report, according to me, from WhatsApp University. I'm sure that is not where you've done your doctorate from.
report well. It's a report by 3 researchers using publicly available data. And I'm a little surprised it has surprised people. I'm also a little surprised that it has taken us so much time to do analysis on things which are so obvious and that we should be doing on a routine basis within the scholarly community. Now think of it, Arnav, there are very few countries that actually even define minority or are interested in the protection of minorities. But we have followed these UN norms, we have followed these progressive modern norms, and over time, in fact, we might be one of the few countries that actually has a dedicated ministry for minority affairs. Now, given the kind of policy priority minority welfare has, given the kind of resources that are spent, don't we want to assess what the outcomes are? So why is it that we are not measuring these reality, these trends on the ground? In fact, this should become a regular routine exercise. It should really not be left to interest. And that is what this is. This just happened to be because one of my younger scholars happened to fall, upon this RCS data set. And he was very excited. So when he came to me and he showed the numbers, we just started to put these things together. And the next thing you know, we have a cross-country analysis for 167 countries.
Shamika, lastly, what is the finding on the plight of Muslims in India? Because your critics will say that, okay, the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council has a vested agenda in saying that Hindu population is going down, Muslim population is going up by 43%. They'll say that the plight of the Muslims has not been measured. Things like, Human Development Index, HDI and economic indices have not improved. The numbers may have improved, so this is a sort of a stilted perspective. What would you say to them?
Well, first of all, we do have other studies that have looked at availability of amenities, even development indicators across religious groups and across social groups, etc. So what you're calling plight, I think we have to put an objective variable which can be measured. Now, the reason, and frankly, the condition of most minority groups over time in India has improved dramatically. Now, why do we look at share of minority population? Because, Arnav, it's a final outcome metric. Right? In a discriminatory environment, when you have not just policies, but generally a community or a society which is leading or discriminatory and leading to plight of any one group or other, or of minorities in general, you're not going to see the kind of significant increase in population, as is the case in many countries, and particularly in our neighborhood. So it's a very good composite metric. It's a very good variable, just like when we do sex ratio, for instance. If you have very skewed sex ratio, then we know that there is a discriminatory environment and women are being discriminated against. So I think there is a scientific basis to say that these are objective measures and we must look at it. But I think, Arnav, one important point to make is that we are not looking at the drivers of this change. What is leading to changes in share of population will not just include fertility rates or birth rates, which I know it has been converging, but it's the difference in the rates which will eventually determine the share. That's a very sophisticated point and important for people to understand. But also migration, legal or illegal, and then conversion. You see, in Europe, most countries have seen a major decline in majority religion on account of mass migration. But in Africa, 24 countries used to have animism as the majority religion. And in 65 years, none of these 24 countries today have animism as a majority religion. So now we are not talking birth rates or migration, we are talking conversion. And obviously it is a combination of all these factors which is leading to this final outcome. This paper is a first attempt to objectively measure and put out step number 1. Now we need to look more into the details.
Well, I'd say this, viewers, some of you may know Shamika Ravi. She does remarkable analysis. What she does is she looks at very, very applicable issues in our real life and puts incredible data for them. For example, when I met her a few months back in Pune, she showed me her data to prove and show how the Chinese dominance over the global narrative, not just the media landscape, can be actually measured in terms of numbers. Because I feel that people like Dr. Shamika Ravi, we should be doing rating agencies for the rest of the world, not the other way around. We'll talk about that another time. I will keep a good academic out of my political debate with a big thank you to Dr. Shamika Ravi for joining me tonight. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now this is also a subject of debate tonight. The Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister has released data showcasing a 7.82% decline in the Hindu population of the country. That means every 1 decade, 1% Hindu population goes down. This comes against a stark rise in the share of the minority population in the country. Muslim population goes up by 43%. The data has totally exposed the lies peddled by the Congress ecosystem at home and abroad that keeps chanting minority in danger. Musalman khatre mein hai. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the sum and substance. Then we debate.
Internally in India, it's been commented on, and globally, it's been commented on. Of course, minorities are under attack, but so are many other communities. Dalit communities, tribal communities, lower caste communities are also under attack.
जो नफरत ये पैदा कर रहा है हिंदुस्तान के अंदर, वहाँ मुसलमान और हम खतरे में हैं.
The minority in danger narrative has collapsed. The Economic Council of Affairs to the Prime Minister has released a report revealing that India's Hindu majority population has declined. At the same time, the minority share in India has risen drastically.
यही कांग्रेस पार्टी की हमारे देश में लेगेसी रही है, हिंदू समाज की प्रताड़ना, हिंदू समाज को वंचित रखना और हिंदू समाज और सनातन धर्म का अपमान करना. ये जिस आंकड़े की आप बात कर रहे हैं वो प्रतिबिंब है कि कांग्रेस के राज में किस प्रकार से हिंदू समाज के ऊपर जिस प्रकार से सामाजिक प्रहार हुए हैं, हमारे समाज को जाति के आधार पर बांटने की किवायत हुई है. ये उसी का एक साक्ष्य है, ये उसी का एक परिणाम.
The Hindu population decline is almost 8%. The Muslim population has risen by a whopping 43%. Except for Jains and Parsis, all minority communities including Sikhs, Buddhists and Christians have seen a rise in population.
पॉपुलेशन की बात जहाँ तक है, 2011 से अब तक कोई इस तरह का आंकड़ा नहीं आया है, ना कोई पॉपुलेशन दोबारा हुई है. तो अगर पॉपुलेशन का कोई ऐसा है तो पॉपुलेशन करा लें. ये तो फेक आइडियाज़ है, इसमें कोई भी सत्यता नहीं है, सब झूठा है, प्रोपेगेंडा इनका सिर्फ इलेक्शन के लिए है.
This comes in the wake of rising majority population in neighboring countries including Bangladesh, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, while India has witnessed a decline. So is the majority in danger narrative for real?
Ladies and gentlemen, this whole, by this logic, and that's the motion of my debate tonight, by this logic, we should genuinely be talking about Hindus in danger. I'm not saying it should be a political debate, but it's a reality. Imagine if the percentage share of the Muslim population in the country was to go down by 1% every decade, then what would be the response from the pseudo-secular lobby? Just imagine. So my question on the debate is 7.8% dip, majority in danger, ? Please tell me what you think. And when I speak like this, don't say you right-winger. You realize how right I have been all along? Atikur Rahman is quiet tonight. Nikhil doesn't know what to say. Asif Sohail will say 43% increase in population is not enough. Muslims population should go up by 100%. And Tala Ahmed Rashidi will think that he needs to go to JNU to seek a counter response to me tonight. Sohail Seth is looking very, very smug as usual. And Sanju Verma is having a great time. So who should I start with? Okay, Asif Sohail, I'll start with you.
I have 8 points to make. Can I make
I don't know, you
I
can't make 8 points, yeah. You can't make 8 points. You're not even a...
No, before you tell your viewers that I don't have anything to speak.
I'll start with a member of the minority community. I'll start with Asif Sohail. Asif Sohail, Muslim population has gone up by 43%. Hindu population is down by 7.82%. Your response?
अर्नब देखिए, क्या
जी।
मुझे बताइए कि हम एक नागपुर यूनिवर्सिटी का डेटा पे बिलीव करेंगे क्या गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का डेटा बिलीव करेंगे? देखिए सेंसस के बारे में देखिए 1961 में 20.29 था, 2011 में हिंदुओं का 16.76 हुआ है, मुसलमान का 25.6% हुआ है, 24.65% जो सो ये बताया गया है। मुझे बताइए किस पर भी जिस पे एक प्लेगरिज्म का एक इल्जाम लगाया उससे हम डेटा के जो सो ऑथेंटिक का होने का हम बिलीव करेंगे या नहीं? तो ये गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया देखिए ये अभी एकदम क्यों इलेक्शन के टाइम पर एकदम ये हिंदू पॉपुलेशन मुसलमान पॉपुलेशन ये लोगों की जो तकलीफात है उसके ऊपर बताइए ना आप, कौन किसकी बढ़ गई है, कौन डेंजर में है, ये तो सब जानते हैं। इलेक्शन के इलेक्शन के थर्ड फेज के अंदर क्या बीजेपी डर रही है, चुनाव हारने का डर हो गया है वो लोग को, या क्या चीज किस चीज की बौखलाहट हो रही है? एंड यू बीइंग ए लर्नर्ड पर्सन आप कैसा बिलीव कर रहे हो? और ना मुझे बताइए ये सारे चीजों पे यू नो द रियल फैक्ट अबाउट इट। ठीक है, बढ़ रहा होगा, कम हो रहा होगा, ये सब देखिए। फर्टिलिटी रेट पे भी अगर हम जा रहे हैं 2019 का जो रिपोर्ट गवर्नमेंट में दी है कि हिंदुओं का फर्टिलिटी रेट 4.41% से जो सो 2.37 मुसलमानों का हुआ है, फिर 3.30 से 1.94% हिंदुओं का हुआ है। आप किसको हम बिलीव करेंगे? एक हिंदुस्तान की के जो डेटा बताया जाता है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, या जिसके ऊपर जो दूसरों की चीजों को लेकर आकर बताते?
ये देखिए आप देखिए आंकड़े बिल्कुल सही है, आंकड़े बिल्कुल सही है। जरा संक्षिप्त में प्लीज। आंकड़े बिल्कुल सही है, जो नंबर्स आपने बताया अभी वही नंबर्स के बेसिस पर है। और एक मिनट मेरी बात सुनिए। और शमिका रवि, एक मिनट, शमिका रवि
मैंने जो
आप जरा 2 मिनट प्लीज। ये गलत बात है, मैं कुछ कह रहा हूं आपको। व्यूअर्स इट्स अ रियलिटी। व्यूअर्स आज
सर मेरी
मैं नहीं सुनूंगा ना, मेरी बात आप मेरी बात नहीं सुन रहे, मैं आपकी बात क्यों सुनूं? नहीं, मैं आपकी बात क्यों सुनूं? 4 मिनट आपकी बात सुनिए, आप 4 सेकंड मेरी बात नहीं सुन रहे।
सच्चाई सुनते हो बोलकर तो मैं
there's a change in your behavior. You become too kind.
सच्चाई बोलने देते हो बोल के मैं आपके चैनल पे आता हूँ। अगर आप सच्चाई नहीं दोगे, सुनने नहीं दोगे,
अरे I carry on, you know, I lose it at a point. No, I lose it at a point. मेरा आजकल हो गया, आजकल सोहेल, I snap at a point. एक पॉइंट तक I can manage. I am reaching my boiling point with him now. एक मिनट मेरी बात सुनिए।
Earlier you used to come down from your boiling point.
नहीं, I don't. 1 minute. Sohail, the numbers are fantastic. Shamika Ravi is a distinguished member of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council. She has a terrific academic record as an academic, and she has been director of research at the Brookings Institution. I mean, we must know she's not from WhatsApp University. Sohail, say it, please. Sohail, opening the debate. Sohail, quick counter, please.
Now, listen to the other Sohail. Ab thoda shant ho jao. Yeah, thoda shant. So there are 3 issues here that have been raised. I think Asif Sohail, that's your name, right? Good choice of nomenclature. He has made a valid point that why are these points raised during elections? Absolutely right. Why does Rahul Gandhi, who normally is an atheist, go on temple runs during elections? Why do we talk about caste censuses during elections? Let's imagine this is an election issue in their mind, in the BJP's mind. I think the counter to that is not why has this issue come up. The counter to that should be, is the issue germane? Is the issue relevant? What has happened, my good friend Asif, is that a narrative has been created in the last 10 years that Muslims are in danger, Muslims are under threat, that this government is too right-wing and too Hindutva-driven, they will suppress and they will trample over all minorities. As you heard Mr. Rahul Gandhi, with his vast intellect, just say that not only Muslims but other communities are also being trampled, including Dalits. For that man's genius, he thinks Dalits are a community, but we'll let that. I think the big issue is to ask ourselves only one question. Has there been trampling of Muslims in the last 10 years? To my mind, I don't think so. Has there been a narrative which suggests that there is fear in the country? Yes. That narrative has been created only to accentuate one issue, to portray Narendra Modi as a right-wing fascist who hates all communities other than Hindus, which again is not true. Because no other Prime Minister, my good friend, did anything about triple talaq. No Prime Minister did what he did for Muslims, which even Muslim bodies have, admitted to. The third is, Today, the numbers seem to suggest that Hindu numbers are falling. No one is suggesting that we need to sound the bugle of danger. Oh my God, Hindus come ho rahe hain. That's not the issue. The issue is, should we allow a befuddled narrative to destroy the very democratic ethos of our country, where I believe my Muslim brothers and sisters have contributed as much as every other community, whether it's Parsis, Sikhs, Christians, Baha'is, everyone. I come from Calcutta. For me, my Muslim brother and sister is as important as my Hindu brother and sister. We were not taught to differentiate. The differentiation, my good friend, began with Indira Gandhi and has continued. Actually, it went further back with Mahatma Gandhi. So my point is, we are now living in a country which is being driven by economic progress, a unity of thought, and a unity of purpose. Why do we always find a problem for every solution? Why do we want to destroy our country through divisiveness? Why do we want to perpetrate hate when we can replace it with love? Why do we question anything that is good? Why do we always want to suggest that we are cynical, bitter, divisive people? That's my argument.
Well put.
Argument is not about Hindus or Muslims. Argument is about dividing, decrying, and denigrating our country.
Yeah, Sohail, what will happen now is, and now we must have a structured debate. Everybody who goes outside India, Sanju, and now talks about Muslims in danger must start by saying that, ladies and gentlemen, Muslims are in danger because the Muslim population has gone up by 43%. And Hindus are the danger because their population has gone down by 8%. I want to see how many fellowships these people get after putting their fraud PhDs in for this fraud kind of conversation. The issue, very simple, is, Sanju, how did Hindus' numbers fall so much? Because primarily this period is till 2015, which means most of the time this is under the Congress Raj. Was it because of infiltration? Or was it because of conversion?
Yes.
Conversion, very important. Yes, Sanju.
Thank you. Arnab, let's address the elephant in the room. I have no compulsions, to not call a spade a spade. Between 1950 and 2015, there has been a perceptible fall in the Hindu population to the tune of almost 8%. Alarm bells, should they be ringing? Of course, yes. And more importantly, let your audience not lose sight of the fact that the Muslim population has risen by a staggering 43.15% in the said period of 65 years, 1950 to 2015. Now, in these 65 years, for the longest time, for 54 long years, it was the Congress party which ruled. Point number one. Point number two, look at the irony. Nepal has a majority Hindu population. Nepal has seen Hindu population declining as per various reports, including the report by the Population Foundation of India and the United Nations Population Food Program report. India, with a majority Hindu population, has also seen Hindu population declining. But Bangladesh, Afghanistan and Pakistan, where Hindus are in a minority, have also seen the minority population declining. So the second most important conclusion is this: Hindu population is falling even in Hindu majority countries like India and Nepal. Yeah. Hindu population is also falling in Hindu minority countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. That is point number two. Point number three, is the fall in Hindu population, let's speak of India currently, is this only organic or inorganic? I say let's leave the inorganic bit aside for a while. Yes, illegal immigrants have come to India, the Rohingya factor is there, so on and so forth. But I'll give you some very interesting data. And you will be surprised to hear this, because I was very surprised when I was doing research ahead of your show and I found this. This is documented, by the way. This is the data which Sanju Verma is throwing off her hat. Because of late I've seen, the moment I start churning out data, the other side says, "Arey, ye to WhatsApp University ka data hai." Bhai sahab, dhyan se suniye. I've studied in the best. I'm not a WhatsApp University graduate. Be that as it may. Now listen to this carefully. In the provisional census numbers put out in 2001, they said that the average Muslim population in these districts in West Bengal was 18.7%. And as we speak now, barely in the last 20-24 years, you'll be surprised to know, Murshidabad 67% Muslim population, Malda 51.27%, North Dinajpur 49.92%, Birbhum 37.06%, South 24 Parganas 35.87%, Nadia 26.76%, Howrah 26.2%, East Burdwan 26.9%, North 24 Parganas 26.82%, Cooch Bihar 25.54%, South Dinajpur 24.63%, Kolkata 20.6%. They said that these are 12 large districts/regions within West Bengal, where from an average of 18.7, the Muslim concentration has risen to as high as 67% in places like Murshidabad, and in most other districts, it's beyond 35%. Now, if you are telling me that is not a cause for alarm, you are kidding yourself, because the Muslim population in West Bengal has risen from 2.1 crore 24 years back to 3.2 crore, which means a 52% rise in a span of 24 years. In a span of 2 decades, 52% jump in Muslim population in West Bengal alone. And you're telling me this is not a cause of concern?
No, this is a very, it's a very strong debate we are having today, ladies and gentlemen, because I think what will happen at the end of this debate, 1 minute, I'll get Atikur, I'll get Tala, and I'll come to you also, Nikhil, just 1 minute. Viewers, I'll tell you, immediately after independence, when Nehru took over, say 51 to 61, you would have expected that with the formation of Pakistan, percentage Muslim population would go down. However, Muslim population increased by 32.7% in the first decade of the Congress government, 30.97 in the second decade, 30.7 in the third decade, 32.9 once again in 81 to 91, remained close to 30% till 2001. The only slowdown, interesting, the only slowdown in the growth of the Muslim population, though it was still much more than the Hindu population, was when Vajpayee became Prime Minister. Then it came down to 24%, but still much higher than the national average of 17% and much higher than the Hindu average of 16%. Now, tell me, logically इस बात को समझा जाए. That means Muslim community is doing very, 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 very well in India. It's thriving, it's prospering, it's growing, it's becoming larger and larger. So now you can't say, Tala, Muslims in danger. Muslims have never been in danger.
Yes.
These are data, data, D-A-T-A, data.
Okay, Arnab,
not this and that.
Let me give you some data from my side, apart from the WhatsApp University. Should I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Arnab, first of all, what I understand as the crunch of this debate, or the bottom line of the debate, that the message that you want to portray to the country is that Hindus are in khatra. So the total population of the country is 140 crores, and the total population of Hindus is approximately 120 crore, and that of Muslims is 20 crores. तो 20 करोड़ लोगों से 120 करोड़ लोगों को खतरा है. ये आप यहाँ पे मैसेज देना चाहते हैं.
मेरे मैसेज को छोड़िए, आप मेरे डेटा पे टिप्पणी कीजिए, रिस्पॉन्ड कीजिए. डेटा टू डेटा डिबेट कीजिए ना. ये क्या डेटा टू डेटा करिए. मैं खराब आदमी हूँ, आप ये मैसेज देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. आप अच्छे आदमी नहीं है, मैं अच्छा आदमी हूँ, आप बुरे. ये क्या लेवल ऑफ डिबेट है?
अरे सर,
ये क्या, ये जेएनयू लेवल डिबेट मत कीजिए मेरे प्रोग्राम में.
आप पूरी कम्युनिटी को टॉन्ट कर रहे हो मुस्कुराते हुए कि मुसलमान थ्राइव कर रहा है. दे आर डूइंग वेरी गुड इन इंडिया.
ये टॉन्टिंग नहीं है, मैं अच्छी बात कर रहा हूँ. हाउ इज इट टॉन्टिंग?
दैट्स नॉट अ टॉन्ट. ये लेवल ऑफ डिबेट नहीं है. But I say something that comes to level of debate. Now other thing is that let me quote the NHS data. WhatsApp University का डेटा छोड़िए जो
नहीं, सोहेल बोल रहे हैं उन्होंने किसी को टॉन्ट नहीं किया. नहीं, सोहेल बोल रहे हैं, आप उनको टॉन्टिंग की बात क्यों कर रहे हैं? सोहेल बोल रहे हैं, नहीं, ये बोल रहे हैं टॉन्ट नहीं किया. आपने एक मिनट, ये टॉन्ट वाली भाषा क्यों हुई मेरे प्रोग्राम पे? व्हाट इज द नीड टू से टॉन्ट? ये टॉन्ट क्यों कहा आपने सोहेल को?
आपने टॉन्ट किया पूरी कम्युनिटी को. दैट इज व्हाई आई सेड सो.
ये टॉन्ट होता है?
पर्सनली you said the Muslims are thriving in India.
Obviously your comprehension of English is weak. If you thought I taunted anyone, I did not taunt anyone.
And I have also not taunted anyone. I have said if the Muslim community is thriving, it's a taunt.
Please go back and see
What
my
was that
comments.
with
I
that
did not
shrewd
taunt
smile on your
Muslims. I
face?
did not taunt Hindus.
If I'm saying Muslims are thriving and I'm smiling, it's a taunt. What should I do? I should be crying. I should be crying when I say Muslims are thriving. I'm happy they are thriving.
That's your problem.
What is this interpretation?
Despising human
ये
beings.
खोट आपके मन में है ये खोट आपके मन में है मैंने ऐसा कुछ नहीं कहा I said nothing like that
Why do you say? Now let me come to the
टॉन्ट की बात क्या है आप टॉन्ट मत बोलिए
Why are you so repulsive?
किसने टॉन्ट किया
You just misquote people because you think you have a microphone. Will you misquote me? Did I ever
Let
taunt?
me contradict you with
Did I taunt?
the data.
No, you apologize for saying I taunted.
Government of
You
India
apologize, my friend.
agency है that
I don't
conducts
care about the
survey
others on the panel.
considering the
I did not
population in
taunt, and
increase
you will apologize
total
to me
fertility
for
rate,
saying that I
the
taunted.
replacement
As
ratio.
simple as that.
उसका data
I will filibuster you, my friend. Before you were born, I was
May
debating.
2002 में
You
release
cannot
हुई थी. That
pass-
says
you
the
cannot
in the
pass
last 2 decades
comments
the
on
Muslim
Okay, एक मिनट सोहेल let him complete सोहेल let him complete चलिए सोहेल let him complete सोहेल let him complete बोलिए
मुसलमानों की आबादी सबसे ज्यादा कम हुई But you won't consider
मैंने
the
कुछ
official
बोला
data
था
of the government of India.
अरे भाई मैंने
You will
क्या
consider
आपको बोला कि
something that
आबादी
has
के
been
बारे में
brought
मैंने
from
कोई
the WhatsApp
टिप्पणी
University
की
और उसी WhatsApp
आप ऐसे
University के जो
बोलते जा रहे हो यार
research paper
कमाल
की
है
बात हो रही है उसी research paper में they say that they have conducted this survey in 167 countries. Out of that 167 countries, 123 countries have seen a decline in the population of the majority. तो ये तो ओवरऑल सारी कंट्रीज में हो रहा है अगर आपकी रिपोर्ट को भी अगर बाइबल कंसीडर कर ले तो उसमें भी हो रहा है वो रिपोर्ट itself says that 123 countries out of 167 countries has seen a sharp decline in the population of the majority. आप मुसलमानों की population का ratio 43% कर रहे हो आप that is exactly that
interpretation seems to suggest that on this panel we are taunting Muslims or Hindus or Christians. That is incorrect.
But you are saying you are putting it as 43%, which is not the truth.
Yeah, I never even used
But
the
when you
word
talk about
percentage.
Hindus, you would say that it's a.
I want to explain to you one minute Sohail 1 minute Sohail may I ask everybody who is watching the program tonight Sanju 1 minute to pull out their calculators and I have been accused of making up a number of 43%. तो सबके पास फोन है कैलकुलेटर सबके पास होगा
Overall,
आप मेरी बात सुनिए no please now don't speak no don't speak now I am no you said I lied आपने कहा मैं झूठ बोल रहा हूं तो आप मेरी बात सुन लीजिए थैंक यू कैलकुलेटर निकालिए और लिखिए 14.09 No, 1 minute लिखिए मैं मैथमेटिक्स क्लास कर रहा हूं सुनिए मेरी बात 14.09 डिवाइडेड बाय 9.84 into 100 14.09 जो अभी परसेंटेज है डिवाइडेड बाय 9.84 जो तब की परसेंटेज थी into 100
What is the right? आप क्यों मुसलमानों
नहीं परसेंटेज आई एम टेलिंग यू परसेंटेज गेन मैं कह रहा हूं परसेंटेज गेन
नॉट फ्रॉम द
You don't need a calculator. This is kindergarten arithmetic. 43.9% jump in Muslim population in 65 years from 9.84% to 14.09%.
I am proving Sanju on my program tonight and I said today Arnab remain cool. Arnab you will be Mr. Cool. Arnab you will be chilled out on the program. Arnab you will not raise your voice. Arnab you will turn a new leaf. Arnab you will be a nice guy. You'll try and talk to an academic and you'll talk in an academic way. You see these people Sohail make me lose my cool. Put down the piece of paper. Paper नीचे रखो. Nikhil, put the paper down. I'm getting angry. Nikhil, put the paper down. Tell me where did I lie about the 43% number?
Actually, there are two of them.
No. 1 minute. No, but what is this? Where did I lie? First you say I'm taunting, then you say I'm lying. कुछ भी बोल दो कुछ भी
Can I please come in?
That chap with the beard without hair is not talking. That's a very good process to do.
Calm down, I can't hear anyone. Now 1 minute. See, 1 minute.
And he's a very dignified
Atik
person.
कुछ बोलो. Atik you say. Atik you speak. Atik and Nikhil. Atik.
I want to make a quick point.
Well, after that I'll come to you. I'll let Atik hasn't spoken at all yet. Atik.
Arnab, may I seek a clarification on the ambiguity that this rise in the Muslim population is by birth or by infiltration or by conversions?
Why are you asking me? I don't know. What clarification
No,
do you want?
because what Dr. Shamika said, is it by birth? Yes or no?
No, am I doubting?
Increase in the Muslim population is
Am I
not
saying
by
it's bad
birth.
to be by birth or good to be by infiltration? Why are you asking that question?
No, because you are mixing up all the three issues. You are mixing up.
No, I'm not.
The infiltration part, you are mixing up the conversions. So it's not by birth.
No, I'm not.
I want you to remove the ambiguity because your viewers are getting a wrong signal.
No, I'm responding.
The fertility rate amongst all religions are going down.
Okay, I'm responding. Okay, I'm responding. Can I 30-second respond and then come to you, Sanju? I'm saying if an infiltrator is entering India and the infiltrator is a Muslim, obviously the infiltrator feels safe to be in India. Therefore, he finds it safe and lucrative to be in India, which means Muslims are not in danger. If it is by conversion, that means they are thriving and prospering and using or misusing their religious freedom. If it is by birth, then they are certainly thriving because in order to have many children, you have to be thriving as a family. Apply common sense, Atik. Sanju is responding.
Thank you. You know, Atikur Rahman raised a very...
No, Atik Sanju is responding. I have got limited time.
You are not clear yourself.
You are not clear yourself
that it is by
It's an important issue. What kind of a debate is this? Fine, let him shout.
Don't shout. Don't get angry at each other.
Your part.
I'm not getting angry. I'm saying let him shout after he's done.
You are not clarifying it is by birth
why are you shouting? I'm here.
Or by conversion.
I'm here. I have the best studio in the country. Why are you shouting?
No,
audio is good.
You are not clarifying it. That means you have ulterior motives. It's juvenile on your part.
No, one minute. Sanju, continue, please. I'm extending. Sanju,
Thank you. Okay. Arnab, Atikur Rahman has raised a very valid point. I made a reference to that in my opening statement. Now this is it. Yes, when you talk about Muslim population, it includes organic growth. It also includes inorganic growth by way of illegal conversion, by way of infiltration that may have happened, by way of illegal immigrants who may be seeking refuge here, and by way of illegal or coerced conversion.
Yeah.
But let's not lose the woods for the trees, and I will just finish in 30 seconds. When you speak of West Bengal and you see that the population has risen from 2.1 crore to 3.2 crore, and I'm talking of Muslim population, which is a 52% rise, you can clearly draw a conclusion that this staggering rise could not have been organic alone. But when you look at Uttar Pradesh, where you have roughly 4 crore Muslims out of a total population in Uttar Pradesh to the tune of 22 or 23 crore, then you have to admit that the entire rise in Muslim population in Uttar Pradesh is organic. In West Bengal, it is a mix of organic plus inorganic. But in Uttar Pradesh, it is entirely an organic rise in Muslim population. Muslim population 2 decades back or 3 decades back in Uttar Pradesh was 1.5 or 2 crores.
Is it all three?
Uttar Pradesh
Okay,
has
now.
4 crore
What are the
Muslims.
factors?
Today, Uttar Pradesh has 4 crore Muslims, and it's an
I'm going to Nikhil now.
You are evading.
I'm going to Nikhil now. You know, when we utter lies, like there was this article somewhere, I think in the Wire, which says, does this country hate Muslims? Muslims are protesting not because their religion is in danger, but for the imperiled constitution. Modi's majoritarianism is a poison and cancer that can destroy the soul of India, blah, 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 blah. That kind of boring stuff. All I'm saying to these people, Muslims are not in any danger. Because Muslim population has gone up by 43% as a percentage share. What more do you want? 100%? Nikhil?
Thank you. Sanju, please don't interject. I'm starting on the debate 42 minutes into the debate.
I'm not interjecting you. I'm making a limited point. Stop giving me lectures.
Okay.
Chill. First of all, I thank Dr. Ravi for putting out such an analysis in the public domain.
Stop being condescending. I will speak when I need to speak. Arnab Goswami is the anchor. You are not the anchor. You are not the anchor. Arnab Goswami will interject if he needs to.
Okay, Sanju, let him. Sanju, let him. You made your point, let him. Sanju, you made your point, let him. You made your point, let him for tonight, please.
Ridiculous, yeah. Please.
Yeah, you also know, Nikhil, no? Please, don't keep whining too much. Just go into the debate, no? Sanju, please, pull back, no? You made your point, pull back now.
Could have faded down. I for heaven's sake, could have faded down. I need to make my point. The BJP has been trying to make this boogie in the country that the Muslim population in the country is going to rise and they're going to become the majority in the country. But Dr. Ravi's analysis has very clearly shown that the Muslims as a percentage of the population in India has grown from 10% to 15%.
Muslims are the second largest majority in India.
This analysis is from 1950 to 2015, before the Modi.
We have about 20 or 22 crore odd Muslims in the country.
Come on now, ladies and gentlemen, hot debate, Nikhil. Louder,
This
Nikhil.
analysis is not how you can do that. Secondly, time and again, Sanju and other people from the BJP have been saying that Muslim population has increased while the Hindu population has decreased.
Buddhists
The
are a minority in India.
has increased. Their share as a percentage has increased, not their share overall. Hindu population has also increased. Hindu population
so
went
he's
from
not happy.
2.5 crore to
He's not happy.
96.6 crore.
He's not happy. He's saying today, Sohail, 1 minute, let me understand what he's saying, Sanju. He's saying, Sohail, it's not good enough. 43% not good enough. Muslims should have grown from 9% to a simple majority of 51%. On an aggregated, they should have grown by 10%. Every couple of years, you wanted the Muslim population at 51% in the country.
Nikhil is not the reproducer in chief.
Thank you.
A, B.
Nikhil and
Nikhil's point about the spin on majority versus minority is irrelevant. You know, everyone is moving this argument towards the bucket of hate. No one is saying that the country is in danger because the Muslim population is rising or the Hindu population is decreasing. The topic of the debate is Hindu numbers fall. It doesn't say India in danger because Hindu numbers fall. So why are you conjecturing things that don't even
But Hindu numbers
exist?
are not falling, Mr.
No, 1
Singh.
minute, Nikhil. Now, did I interrupt you, my son? I didn't interrupt you, na? I was
son is
supporting
too
you
much.
all
You're not that old yet.
But anyway, you know, I'm saying it out of affection. Never interrupt.
okay.
Don't become like all these other panelists. Always speak when you're asked to speak. I will end by saying only one thing. We are living in a great country. And I mean no cliches. We are all living and coexisting.
True that, true that.
Some politicians will try and create differences. Don't be stupid enough to fall for that. We are living happily. I'm as proud of the contribution of my Muslim brothers and sisters as I'm of. Why are you neglecting Parsis? They are the most decent people. उनको तो आपने dust take कर दिया. I'm saying be happy, live properly. Whoever wants to produce more children, let them produce. कोई देश खतरे में नहीं है भैया.
कोई खतरे में नहीं. I say this. You know that
हम लोग
Grammy
Arvind
song?
Goswami will remain the same. All you people will remain the same. That gentleman with the beard and hair on the head. Actually, there are so many on this panel. He will also remain the same. सब खुश रहो, प्यार से रहो.
So says Saint Sohail Said tonight. I love that angelic, saintly side of yours nowadays, Sohail.
What is the point? Half you people lose your hair because
Okay,
you're angry.
ladies and gentlemen,
One
ladies
angry,
and gentlemen.
you lose your hair.
Oh, come on. Let me promo my big thing tomorrow. Viewers, you know, we have this great interview with the Prime Minister.